laughing, aren't you? I'll give you something to laugh about. I'm going to teach you a lesson you'll never forget. Are you going or not? Are you going? Are you going or not? I'm not going.
It's okay now. There, it's over.
Why do you have to be so stubborn? Why are you so stubborn?
If you witnessed your best friend's tragic death with your own eyes, how long would it take you to come to terms with that reality? Andre, a teenager who refused to ever bow to the rules. I died at the hands of my father's violence, right before the eyes of my best friend, Limo. I thought my story ended there. But I never imagined my death would become a trauma that Limo couldn't overcome for the next 20 years. Limo and I were classmates that day. He was sitting in the second last row, drifting off into a daze. He looked up and saw my small, thin figure standing at the front of the classroom as punishment. That one glance instantly shook him awake. He just stared at me. According to the school records, my name was Indeshan. So why did I insist on telling the whole class that my name was Andre?
Is that your name?
Yeah.
Then who is Indeshan?
That's the name my dad gave me. It has nothing to do with me.
I'm Andre. Just because I wasn't wearing my uniform and had carved words into my desk, the teacher called me up. He simply wanted to break my spirit and teach me to obey. In the eyes of an adult, how could a student like me be allowed to challenge his authority?
From now on, if you dare to write Andre on your exams, I'll give you a 0 now. Scratch out those carvings on your desk before class ends, or make your parents pay for the damage. If you ever dare to wear a tank top to school again, I am going to make you take that off in front of the whole class. Ha ha ha. Is that clear?
No.
What did you say?
I said I didn't understand. You already know who I am, no matter what name I write. You'll know it's me. You told me to cross out the words on the desk. Wouldn't that just make it messier? You think I look particularly ugly in this vest? Then why make me take it off in public? Won't I look even worse?
Do you think you're in the right now? Do you?
Not exactly. I think we both have a point.
Quiet. Now on, don't show up to my class.
Then you'll have to refund a fifth of my tuition. 90 divided by 5. That's 1,800 yuan.
Fine. I'll refund it to you. Here, go home after school and bring your parents here. I'll hand it to them personally. Get back to your seat.
This farce of a rebellion and to show Limo, who had always lived quite timidly, a different side of youth. But the cost was my seat. Teacher moved me to the back row as punishment. Limo and I were both outcasts in this class. Neither of us was well liked. After class, some seniors had their soccer ball pop. Limo approached them with his own ball, desperately hoping to join in.
I have a ball. Can I join?
The ball looks okay, let's see. It's fine, hurry up, will you? You coming? Come on, play hard. Game on, is this your friend?
Limo didn't deny it. And just like that, the two of us joined the game. But he was too used to being alone. Because he didn't know how to pass. He was quickly sidelined by the others. Watching him stand there so awkward and lost, I just couldn't stand it. I ran over to back him up without hesitation.
I'll play defense for you. I can't. Go, just go. Right?
With my cover and support, Limo sprinted forward and finally scored a goal. At that moment, he was ecstatic, and I was the first one to rush over and celebrate with him. From that moment on, we became true friends. After school, we went to the town bathhouse together. In the steam and haze of the bathhouse, we two teenagers, misfits in this world, bared our hearts to each other without reservation.
Are you really going by Andre from now on?
Does it sound good?
It's alright. Also, even during exams, you'll still practice there. Yeah, aren't you afraid the teacher will fail you? What's there to be afraid of? I mean, I know you're the one who's truly something.
From then on, a thin yet inseparable version of me entered Limo's world. That day, it was my turn to give a speech at the flag-raising ceremony. I didn't want to be a robot reciting the same old cliches. Standing before the entire school, I spontaneously threw out a question that to them seemed utterly pointless.
The topic of my speech today is why are manhole covers round? Oh, square is because the diameter is the maximum distance between any 2 points on a circle. If a manhole cover were square, it wouldn't work. Ha ha ha. Everyone knows that if a manhole cover falls, it's because the distance between 2 points is smaller than the opening. So, you need a round hole and a round cover, so it won't fall through. That's what's safest.
The cover won't fall. That's because something underneath is holding it up.
No, it's a geometry problem. It's not about being stuck.
This is hardly the time or place to discuss such things during a flag-raising ceremony. You are deliberately disrupting the order of the ceremony.
Adults are always trying to tame me, but I refused to be trapped by their rigid rules. I wanted to be like a stray, restless wind, exploring the world with nothing but pure curiosity. Even if in their eyes, I was a misfit.
Have you ever been up there?
Let me guess. I see. Hey, we're not allowed up there, are we?
Why not?
We stayed out very late that day, because that place I called home was the last place I wanted to go. Limo and Zen something was wrong, and I asked why I didn't want to go home. He mentioned the time we went to the bathhouse. He saw the scars on my body and asked if my father had beaten me.
Why? Why does he hit you?
He hits me for everything. Even when I do nothing, he still hits me.
I thought my life was miserable enough. I didn't realize you had it even worse.
Perhaps it was at that moment that our souls truly found resonance. Limo believed I was brilliant, that I was different from everyone else. Even though I only scored 32 on my math exam, even lower than his score. But I told him it wasn't because I didn't know the answers. I had chosen to skip the last 2 major problems, to focus on proving a new theorem. Anyone else would have called me crazy, but not Limo. He didn't think I was lying. He genuinely believed I was capable of it. That evening, he invited me over for dumplings, and I met his mother.
Moa tells me you're exceptionally bright. Mo is smart. Too, his grades used to be quite good. He wouldn't have made it into your school otherwise, right? I'm so glad you're willing to come over and help him with his studies. Thank you, Deshan.
My name isn't Deshan, it's Andre.
Call me whatever you want.
Just keep practicing like this.
Alright, Andre, it sounds good. What are you laughing at?
Tell my mom you scored over 90.
I'm capable of scoring over 90. If it weren't for that theorem, I could have gotten a 95.
Wouldn't that make you second in the class?
But there was a question you got right that I missed. Exactly that means if you absorbed all my inner power, you'd score even higher than Sun Fei Fei.
Well, just trust me, okay? It was just one question, the one your girlfriend got right. I know you won't let her beat you.
I'm off. Hey? Do you know about Singapore?
Yeah, I do. Another 4 Asian tigers, right?
Where is it exactly?
It's really far away. Why do you ask?
There's a grade-wide exam tomorrow. The top student gets to go there for high school and college. I saw it in the teacher's office. It was written in the documents.
Ranked first in the grade.
Well, what do you say? No one's around this afternoon.
I don't want to go.
I volunteered to help Limo win that spot by tutoring him, giving him a chance to escape this place and change his destiny. Looking at my determined eyes, Limo seemed to be moved by my conviction, and so this student, whose grades were once poor enough to warrant a parent-teacher meeting, made the unprecedented decision to fight for the top rank in the grade. The legends of our school days are often born from a single moment of teenage resolve.
Do you really think we can take first place?
Do you want to?
Okay then, I want to burn this all down.
With my help, Limo's grades began to improve exponentially, zaying his continuous progress. The teacher moved his seat to the very front row.
Mr. Sun wants you to switch seats with Jin Jaiha. Andre's still sitting there.
Hey, so you also think he's a handful to deal with?
Don't forget to take the pencils from your school bag. Okay. And the ink. Oh, your ink is over here. Don't forget to take it. Okay. Do you have enough scratch paper? I assume here, take a few sheets.
Oh, come on, it's not like I'm transferring schools.
Even though we were separated, the bond between us remained unchanged. Sure enough, through our relentless efforts, Limo lived up to expectations and actually ranked first in the entire grade.
In this exam, everyone in our class showed great improvement, but the one who improved the most is Limo. His score is now the highest in the entire grade. Alright, listen to me first. Limo, I always knew you had potential. That's why I sat you in the back at the very beginning. Students like you need a bit of reverse psychology to be motivated. Don't you agree? Now, for the second thing regarding the third to last question on the math exam. There was a grading error. After the math department discussed it, they found that some students used proof methods different from the standard answer, but they were nonetheless correct. So, we decided to adjust the scores for several students. The top student in the grade is actually Su Feifei from our class. Let's all give her a round of applause. This exam is now over. So, Pai Kai will be going to Singapore. The rest of you must continue preparing for the Zhongkao.
The most painful thing in the world isn't never having something, but losing it the very moment you finally grasp it. In an instant, Limo felt as if his soul had been hollowed out. He couldn't even bring himself to attend P, his favorite class. He just slumped over his desk, tears flowing uncontrollably. Tears kept flowing, and I couldn't say a word. After school, to vent the pent-up frustration in our hearts, the two of us did something we had never dared to do before. We set the wild grass by the river ablaze, watching the flames soar. The two of us ran wildly along the riverbank, screaming at the top of our lungs. It was as if we were purging every ounce of grievance, anger, and resentment, letting it all out until it was all consumed by the fire. He was happy that day, because in his darkest and most helpless hour, he had a friend like me by his side. But he never imagined that my loathing for these rules, built on lies, went far beyond his imagination. The next day at the school-wide flag-raising ceremony, I made an earth-shattering move. I exposed the teacher's foul backroom dealings in front of everyone.
Limo ranked first in this exam. I didn't. Neither did Sun Feifei. Limo is the one who should go to Singapore, not me, and certainly not Sun Feifei. I have a question for you. Why are the two students whose grades were altered both from your private tutoring class? You shouldn't lie. If you don't admit it, I'll keep firing away.
That's all for today's ceremony. Dismissed. Back to your classrooms. What are you still standing there for? Get back to class.
Wait. I have posted the evidence on the bulletin board.
No one is allowed to look back to your rooms. I said get back to class.
Once I spoke out, things spiraled out of control. The whole school knew. The principal summoned our parents to the office there. Under the principal's pressure, I remained as defiant as ever. I calmly stated my case, refusing to apologize. I wrote this myself. These are the drafts I can show you.
They're right here in my bag. And I was the one who put up these flyers. I posted them around 8 o'clock last night. I was afraid someone would tear them down.
So I put up 3 layers and used a whole roll of tape. My confession and defiance were met instantly with a brutal beating from my father. Then the principal turned to question Limo, who was paralyzed with fear. He recoiled and distanced himself from me. I don't blame him. After that, I was unofficially expelled. My father went into a blind rage, beating me as if I were a dog. He dragged me all the way home. Worried about my safety, Limo ran as fast as he could. He navigated through the cluttered shanties and found my house. Through the window, he finally witnessed the true source of the bruises he had seen on my body back in the bathhouse. Inside, the father I loathed was venting his rage like a wild beast. I could only scramble around the stove, desperately trying to dodge his blows. In that moment, I spotted Limo peering in from outside. I didn't want him to feel any guilt. I forced a smile for the only friend I ever had. But in the very next second, I was kicked across the room by my enraged father and slammed onto the floor. He tried to force me to bow my head and apologize to the teacher. I couldn't understand what I had done wrong. Then a bucket of boiling water was poured over me. The searing agony instantly consumed everything.
Why must you be so stubborn? Why are you so stubborn?
That was the last thing I heard the scalding water. Stripped away all my senses, I died. I died at the hands of my own father's brutal violence. And I died under Limo's gaze, which was filled with shock and helplessness. Everyone knew it. It was an undeniable fact, a bloody tragedy that stains the history of this small town. But Limo seemed to have forgotten it all. The police came to question him that day. Faced with such immense trauma, his body developed a stress response. He suddenly felt an intense itch on his back and ran out like a madman. He dashed into an empty classroom, frantically stripping off his clothes while desperately clawing at his own back.
Hey, I'm telling you, what's wrong? It itches. Come here, turn around and let me see. Right here.
Good heavens, you scratched yourself bloody. Oh, child.
Even as he bled, Limo couldn't stop tearing at his skin. The doctors gave him a thorough examination but found nothing physically wrong. Eventually, a doctor suggested he visit a psychiatric hospital, but fearing social stigma and gossip, his father didn't dare take him. He could only live in denial, pretending as if nothing had happened. From then on, he seemed to have completely blocked out the fact that I was dead. In his world, I was still alive. He still played with me during the New Year fireworks. He saw me once again amidst the dazzling display.
Why are you here? Are you better now? Are you mad at me?
Did your first place ranking give them a shock?
It's a shame my mother didn't see it.
She'll know once she's back.
Dad, yeah, how? And Andre come home with us to eat dumplings.
Happily, he pulled me along to go home for dumplings. When he went to the kitchen for an extra set of bowls and chopsticks, his father realized that something was terribly wrong. He realized his son was seeing someone who wasn't there. As his son chatted and laughed with the empty air beside him, the father's eyes were filled with an unshakable deep sorrow. His father knew in his heart that witnessing my death, just how deep a trauma this left in Limo's heart.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. Keep talking.
Dad, hey, he's talking to you. Why are you ignoring him? What are you talking about? He's talking to you. Who? Andre? Andre. What did he say? He said, thank you.
Seeing his son in this state, the father's heart ached with pity. But he knew that this trauma couldn't be healed by others. Limo had to face and resolve it on his own. As time slowly drifted by, he only remembered having a very dear friend with whom he lost touch after the middle school entrance exams. Deep down, he had always been longing for a reunion one day, for a chance to play football together again. Until he moved to the distant south and got married, starting his own family, he buried the memory of my death deep within. I never appeared in his world again until 20 years later, when a single phone call shattered the peace of his life in the South. Limo's father had passed away. For years, he had been unconsciously fleeing his hometown. Even the news of his father's death left him in a state of daze and resistance. On one side was his father's death and the northern homeland. On the other, his pregnant wife and a new life in his southern home. This agonizing sense of displacement pushed him to the breaking point, and so on the flight back home, he summoned me from his hallucinations once more. I know he is terrified of returning to his hometown, and even more afraid to face his father's funeral, because my death has long been an inner demon he couldn't overcome. He needed me to accompany him on this journey of reconciliation with the past. On the long road home, he awakened to me from his own imagination. The two of us headed back to our hometown together, just as we did when we were children. He asked me to accompany him to the bustling market to buy necessities for the funeral. The closer we got to home, the more intense that suppressed fear became. On the way, he was overcome by an overwhelming urge to flee from returning home. He wanted to turn around and run all the way back to the south to stop him. I went as far as leaping from the moving car to halt his impulse to escape.
Andre, you're crazy. Are you trying to get yourself killed?
I knocked him unconscious with a basin. I had to use such extreme measures to force him to keep moving forward. I had to use these seemingly erratic and violent actions to shock him into his senses, to force him to confront the truth he'd been running from for half his life. Andre has been gone for a long time. As the car finally entered our hometown, he saw the younger version of me again, the Andre who would stay small and thin forever. I led him step by step through the streets and alleys where we used to play, passing through the places that held the memories of our fleeting youth. Finally, we arrived at the place where we often went after school, the vanilla factory where we used to explore and play together. He slowly pushed open the heavy rusted doors. Here, he finally saw me, whom he hadn't seen for so many years. I was still that friend, eternally suspended in youth, never growing up nor ever growing old. I didn't blame him for being too afraid to speak up back then, nor did I blame him for forgetting me all these years. I simply gave a playful nudge like an old friend.
What took you so long? Let's go.
Bye.
In this farewell that spanned a lifetime, the knot in his heart, frozen for years, finally unraveled. He finally found the courage to face the reality of my death, and the real Limo finally crossed the abyss of his trauma. He has truly come back to himself.
Where the hell have you been? Do you realize you're wasting the entire class's time?
Mr. Song Lumu was playing soccer with the seniors.
So you want to be a special case too, huh? Why don't you just go to the back and watch, since you love watching so much?
Music.
Please wake up your sleeping soul. Open your eyes to those who love you. Is the world still spinning on in its loneliness? The spring breeze knows no romance, yet it stirs the hearts of the youth. The tear stains of yesterday have dried away along with the memories. Oh. Seagulls seek wings for the sky, migratory birds leave their trails, bearing news of distant famine and the relentless flames of war. The snow fades on the white peaks, burning through the hearts of the youth. And your sincerity in musical notes, whispering eternal blessing. Sing shows. Oh man. Let me embrace your dreams. Let me see your honest face. Oh, yeah. Our smiles be filled with the pride of youth as we offer a solemn prayer for tomorrow. Who could abandon their home or cast aside their childhood memories? Please take away yesterday's sorrow and let our smiles remain. Youth is unaware of worldly ways, the room is stained with dust. It has kissed your face. Sing out your passion, reach out your hands, and let me embrace your dreams.